And happy Father's Day. Welcome inside Gainbridge Fieldhouse, a matinee opportunity for the Indiana Fever on Sunday against the Chicago Sky. It was their second time facing them in a matter of 2 weeks. And right away, we saw this game have the intensity from the jump. It was yet again another sellout crowd that was seen across the nation on CBS. Throughout the game, I saw signs with fans, different fans, saying they were from Spokane, Washington. They were from New Jersey. They were from Florida. Everyone here to see Caitlin Clark and this Fever team against the Chicago Sky and what many hope could be a budding rivalry. But that's going to take some meetings in the postseason, I think, to ultimately end up happening. In the stands today, Oscar Tshiebwe of the Pacers, Assistant General Manager Kelly Krauskopf, T.Y. Hilton, and Muffet McGraw, all there to see the Fever beat the Sky again, 91-83 the final. Their fourth win in a matter of 6 games. Now, to get this game started, we saw Caitlin Clark wearing the Kobe Grinch shoes, scoring the first hoop. She had 7 of the Fever's first 12 points. She had only 7 points in total in the Fever's last game, so I thought she made a decisive effort to get herself started and in turn help this Fever team off to a very good start. We saw an upgrade in the intensity level on both sides of the ball. I think from this Fever team, they were using their screens, setting good screens. They were getting stops. They were moving the ball. They knocked down 6 threes in the first half, 3 of them coming from Katie Lou Samuelson, who is starting to get more and more comfortable both in her body after coming off maternity leave on this new setup with the Fever and their new system. You can just see the collective chemistry is what's really standing out right now. And the Fever ultimately were able to shoot 57% in that first half, had a 4-point lead at halftime, and having a lot of success scored inside the paint as well. So it was very much a balanced effort today for the Fever in their win over the Chicago Sky.
Still more than half a season left, and I already feel like we've grown, so much. So I think that's just like a positive for all of us to take away and continue to string some wins along. And, Coach has been saying that we just need to continue to take a step forward every single day. But, we don't have any time to go backwards. And I think tonight we took a really big step forward. So I'm proud of the group.
I mean, we had 4 players in double digits. It was just, they're learning each other. And that's what this is what's happening right now. They're learning each other. They're learning how to play off each other. They're recognizing, reads off each other. We have 50 points in the paint as well. We're drawing the defense, and then our guards and even Katie Lou are getting great looks because of the downhill attacks.
Now, there was a charged moment late in the third quarter, less than 3 minutes left. Angel Reese fouling Caitlin Clark on a drive to the basket, got her across the head. That's an automatic flagrant foul. After being ruled a common, it was reviewed. It was upgraded to a flagrant foul, as I think properly done so. And ultimately, post-game, Caitlin was not upset about it, saying that was a basketball play. But I will note, before the game, Angel asked about this matchup, asked about facing Caitlin Clark, and did not utter her name.
Did you feel like that?
Basketball play.
Yeah. Did you feel like that was the appropriate call, or?
It's a basketball play. I can't control the refs. They affected the game obviously a lot tonight. So
what's going through my mind is I need to make these 2 free throws. That's all I'm thinking about. It's just part of basketball. It is what it is. Just trying to make a play on the ball and get the block. But yeah, it happens. And those free throws, when you have to shoot them with nobody at the line, are kind of hard. So it's a little different than having people at the line. So I was just trying to focus on making those.
Now the Fever led by 2 after 3, 68-66. And what Coach Christie sides liked the most from her team in that second half was what they did on the glass. They kept the Sky, a very good and big rebounding team with Cardozo, with Angel Reese, kept them to just 1 offensive rebound for the entire second half.
I've tried to say it as much as possible, but it just doesn't happen overnight, right? And so we just keep getting a little bit better. And that's been my message. It's about the Indiana Fever every game. We're in the locker room talking pregame. It's about the Indiana Fever and how we just have to get better in our 40 minutes, and success will follow. And I think they're really buying into that. The thing, what I'm most proud of though, is I really went in on them at halftime about the offensive rebounding. We gave up 1 offensive rebound the whole second half. That was huge for us. They responded. Proud of them for that.
Yet again, it won't be a Fever game without a close one down the finish, even in a win. And we saw the Sky make a run, got to within a possession, but the Fever kept stringing together stops. They had to kill what they term 3 consecutive stops. They had a couple big defensive plays, including a block where I am right in front of me, which ultimately led to a basket down at the other end. As total team effort in this one, led by Caitlin Clark's 23 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists here on Father's Day. Almost a triple-double. 19 points, 14 rebounds from Aliyah Boston, who has played at another level over the last week or so. You still go back to that Connecticut game where Christy Sides pulled the starters for the final 15 minutes or so, except for Boston. Then they came here back to the Fieldhouse, had a practice. Everyone left the court. Boston stayed out there with Christy Sides for a film session. Then she's now strung together a couple of good games, and on top of that, what's led to all this is I think she's setting better screens. Her chemistry and wavelength with Caitlin in particular has been much improved, and then also teammates in the right spots and knocking down shots. Again, Aliyah with 19 and 14. Kelsey Mitchell finishing this one with a positive effort with 17 points. We saw Nolissa Smith with 15 points. Overall, this is exactly the formula for this Fever team to put together wins. And right now, what is a favorable portion of their schedule? No, they're not playing the Connecticut's, the New York's, or even Seattle. They're playing the more bottom-tier teams, and that's why it's so imperative for them to take advantage of this situation. And right now, they have and aim to continue to do so. Now, we also in this one saw a lot of emotion, I thought, out of this team. It was Caitlin Clark firing up the crowd a lot. You even had Christy Wallace come to her defense at one point, which I thought was a positive to see. It's still going to take time, but I gotta believe inside that locker room, Coach Sides is having a lot better time and presenting her message and presenting the coaching when it's working right now. When you're facing these lesser opponents, you're coming out on top, and so winning changes everything for a team, and I think that's really felt inside that locker room.
They're way more resilient than I thought they were. That is, we keep using that word. And, it goes back, I asked them on our first team meeting, what does good team chemistry look like? And all of them gave me a situation where they were either part of one or what they thought. And that's what we're building and striving for. But it doesn't happen overnight. And for these guys and the resiliency that they've shown in some really hard times, a really hard schedule, to keep fighting, keep showing up, could not be more proud of them.
Again, the growing chemistry, the collectiveness of this team really shining bright on Sunday here in this win over the Chicago Sky. It was very cool post-game. You even had 3 players on the dais together, and Clark and Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. It was an important and touching game as well, I should mention, for Kelsey Mitchell, as she played her first Father's Day without her father, losing him, unfortunately, passing away earlier this year. So it was an emotional game for her, and I thought she did a nice job as a whole. I got to mention again, Samuelson off the bench, Lexi Hall off the bench. She given the opportunity to finish the game as well because of her productivity, especially on the defensive end. And if she can knock down shots around the arc, that is all an added bonus and will help keep her out on the floor.
I think from the first game to now, I think we've just really been able to get a great feel of playing with each other, knowing where I'm going to be, knowing where she's going to be, being able to set those drag screens so she get a shot off. I think we're really doing a good job of building that.
Yeah, I was just trying to get the ball inside late in the game because I thought, AB was, that's the highest percentage shot in basketball, so that's what you want to get to, and I thought AB was doing a really good job. Obviously, one of those last plays where we ran horns and AB was, earlier in the game, was able to slip out and kind of get into her layup a little bit, and she got a good look, but then got the O board and then kicks it out to Lexi, and then they kind of just leave Liz. So that's probably the play of the game. AB misses a layup, but then is able to grab a huge offensive rebound for us and get Liz a wide open layup, and I think that put us up 5, and the game was pretty much out of reach at that point. So I'm just always trying to get the ball inside at the end of the game, honestly.
The Fever now have 2 more days between games, ample practice time, rest time, all those different things that the Fever did not have in the early portion of their schedule. And on top of that, they play a very manageable opponent in the Washington Mystics right back here at the Fieldhouse on Wednesday before heading out on the road once more. So a stable stretch, one at home, an opportunity for them to build on that chemistry. A lot of them hit up Zubilation on Friday, another opportunity to build on that that wavelength, on that chemistry, which starts with Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston in their pick and roll game, setting hard screens, using the screens, waiting for those screens. And I think that, among many things, are things we'll be watching closely as the season continues to unfold. This team's only played 15 games, 15 of 40. They are now 5-10, winners of 4 of 6 after that grueling stretch to start the season. Reporting from Gainbridge Fieldhouse, I'm Scott Agness of FieldhouseFiles.com.